Hey guys, what I've got here is a tiny little USB flash drive. I'm going to use this to try Hive OS or maybe SMOS or something like that. I signed up to Hive OS today and I'm going to give it a try. I am, and I always have been, an Awesome Miner. I've used Awesome Miner since the start, but you know, the problems with Windows makes me think that maybe I should try some other solutions and just see what's out there. Maybe it will change my mind, or maybe it will consolidate my opinion that Awesome Miner is the best option out there. So I'll see how that goes on. But what I'd like to do in this video is talk about mining. I like to talk about GPU mining, I like to talk about ASIC mining, and talk about the alternative options out there for anyone who wants to spend some money on cryptocurrency, as in buying coins or perhaps investing in Masternodes and things like that. Now, I've done a few videos about this over this year. You know, I think I did one in March and April, maybe perhaps in May. And it is something that I think you need to revisit every now and then, because the market changes. The market is changing all the time. The market is always evolving, sometimes not always in the best way, but the market is always changing. And as a miner, as a GPU miner right now, you always have to look at whether what you're doing is right. So I want to touch upon mining. I want to talk about ASIC mining. I want to talk about GPU mining for people just coming in to the market, and people who do have GPUs, and also want to talk about other options. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. It is a predominantly mining video. So, okay, so July 2018, where are we? Well, if you are not a miner, if you don't have any mining equipment, and you are considering buying GPUs, graphics cards to mine, then it is a little bit of a different situation in some regards than it was a few months ago. The one thing that is the same is that AMD hasn't released any new cards, Nvidia hasn't released any new cards. Now the rumours out there are that the 1180 is probably going to be announced and released at the end of August. You know, depending on which website you read, but that is what the rumours are. But we probably won't see an 11 series version of like the 1060 and things like that. Like, so you might not see an 1160, 1170, 1170 Ti, 1180 Ti until 2019, and that's probably when AMD will release a card as well. So there aren't many new GPUs, many new graphics cards on the horizon. But what has changed over the last few months hasn't been the fact that Nvidia and AMD aren't releasing new cards. It has been the fact that Bitmain and other companies are kind of stepping up their development of ASIC mining machines, and we are seeing a lot of people either who didn't have any GPUs, didn't have any graphics cards, move over and buy ASIC mining machines instead of a graphics card. And we are seeing people who have a graphics card set up, you know, they've got a couple of rigs of GPUs, and those people are either selling their rigs and buying ASIC mining machines, or they're just buying ASIC mining machines as well. So if you're coming in and you don't have any kind of mining equipment, you've got a few options. Do you buy graphics cards? Do you buy an ASIC mining machine or two? Or do you just buy the coins? Or do you just invest in a Masternode? And that's probably your four options right there. Alternatively, I guess option 5 would be that you use a service such as NiceHash or Mining Rig Rentals to simply mine via the cloud. You don't actually have to have any physical hardware at your home, and I guess you are paying a little bit more for that, but you're saving yourself a lot of time, a lot of headaches. You're not worrying about the electricity, you're not maintaining your rigs or anything like that. So there are some pros for doing that, for just using services like NiceHash. Find a new coin, then sending nice HashPower or renting a rig. That is an option. But if you are thinking about mining, the question is, would you buy a GPU mining rig, or would you buy an ASIC mining machine? And I'll be honest guys, I'm not going to give you a concrete answer in this video as to what you definitely should do or what you definitely shouldn't do, because I've been discussing this issue with a lot of people in Discord communities, and there's a lot of ways to look at it. So what I have seen recently is that there's a lot of people who said that they've picked up graphics cards at very good prices. So the market, because the returns from graphics cards are going down because of, one, we're in a bear market, we're in a bear run, but two, as I said, ASIC mining machines are becoming more popular. So a lot of people are selling graphics cards, which is pushing down the price of older GPUs. So it will depend on what region you are in the world, but it does seem that there are some bargains out there as far as buying old graphics cards. I saw someone saying that they picked up, I think it was some 1060s or something like that, and they picked it up for only $100, which, as someone who's got a lot of 1060s, isn't great news for me, but if you're buying new cards, that's an amazing price. So if you're thinking about buying a GPU mining rig, you have to obviously appreciate that right now we are in a bear run and returns aren't great. But if you do decide to build a GPU mining rig, if you buy the graphics cards at a low enough price, and again, you have to do your calculations, you have to do your research, you have to decide on what coins you think you're going to mine, what algorithm you're going to mine. But if you buy a graphics card at a low enough price, you might get a break-even point of 4 or 5 months or something like that. Whereas if you bought new, you could be a year, you could be never. And that is the reality. Now, one of the criticisms I've saw of ASIC mining machines in some of my videos recently, there was one in particular who kept talking about if you don't break even on an ASIC mining machine in 90 days, then you might never break even, and all you're left with is a doorstop, just something that loses you money. Now, that is true. It is true. If you buy one of the later batches of an ASIC mining machine and the difficulty is too high and there's too many people that have got the same mining machine, the returns might, the returns that you get could be so low that you might never break even. But this is something that's the criticism that's levelled at ASIC mining machines. What a lot of people I don't see talking about is the fact that this is true in the GPU world as well. In the GPU mining world, you might also never break even. It saddens me to say that, but it's true. You could buy a graphics card right now, and the number of algorithms that are GPU only are becoming smaller, and you might never break even. That is the reality of it, and there's a lot of reasons for that. We're in a bear market. ASIC mining machines are becoming more popular, and because ASIC mining machines, they're kind of taking over a lot of algorithms that GPU miners would mine. And as I said earlier, we're still waiting on the 11 series of cards. So effectively, when you buy a 10 series card, you're buying a card that could be 1 or 2 years old as far as tech goes. So if you can, my thinking of this is that if I was to come into cryptocurrency right now, July 2018, this is my first day, first week, first month. If I had to spend some money and I wanted a GPU mining rig, I would buy used. Unless you see a unless you see a super duper deal on a brand new graphics card, my recommendation would be to try and hunt for GPU bargains. Perhaps someone who bought cards at the start of the year, maybe the end of 2017, they're only 6-7 months old. They should still be operating great, maybe still have 6 months or maybe a year and a half left in the warranty. I would say that if you can get a really good used bargain, then GPU mining still makes sense. If you're buying GPUs brand new, well, again, this is where you're leading into territory where you might never break even. So that's something you really do have to take into account, that you need to do your calculations. And this is something I've said many times, is that, not to pat myself on the back, but I think the way that I did it when I got into GPU mining was the right way, and I didn't just jump into it. I spent a month doing spreadsheets and reading and checking out coins and doing all my calculations and looking at the prices of things, looking at the algorithms I can mine. I was still a little green as far as I didn't know lots of things, but I did have a general idea of HashPower and what was the most effective way for me to break even. And at the time for me, and it still is in most regions, the 1066 gigabyte cards for me at the time turned out to be the best cards to buy, because for the total hash power, for the money I was spending, even including all the additional motherboards I had to buy, total rigs, it worked out a little bit cheaper than buying only 1080 Ti's. Now I have got one 1080 Ti rigs, but as far as the value you get for hash power, at that time 1060s were the best card to buy. But again, this goes back to what I was saying about the spreadsheet and what I was saying about things changing. Do a spreadsheet, look at the prices of cards new and old, look at the hash power, look at the expected daily returns, and then try and build a picture as to when the break-even point will be. Because you might say that right now, a break-even for a new card could be 13, 14 months. The reality is, if things stayed the same, it could be longer, as in never. It might never break even. It might never break even, give you a return on your investment. That is the reality of it. But here's the unknown thing: we're still in a bear run, and you could, we could enter a bull run. And if we enter a bull run and you've got graphics cards or you've got ASIC mining machines, you're in a very good position to make more money than if you didn't, because all of a sudden it's a seller's market rather than a buyer's market. People aren't going to want to sell their graphics cards or sell their ASIC mining machines when the market is on the up. Now, we've seen that before, and that's why GPU prices went through the roof. Now, I know, again, I know some of you perhaps want, do I buy or do I not buy? But I guess my overall view on that is, it makes more sense to buy used and just hunt for used GPU bargains that, the cards don't look too bad. If you do have graphics cards today, well, this is a different story. And the question isn't, well, the question is, do you sell your existing rig? Do you leave things as they are? Or do you buy some more cards? And again, there's so many ways to look at it, and I've flip-flopped on this many times. I was talking to my friend Mark a few days ago, and he's going on holiday for like 10 or 11 days, and he just put on NiceHash just to see what the return would be like. Now, he isn't mining NiceHash, he's mining a number of different coins, and he's hodling his coins. But he put on NiceHash, and the return for a 1060, when you take away the electricity, was 12 pence per card. That's sad. It really is sad. And at that point, it's sell. So he says that he's going to keep checking things, but if that's still the case, that the returns are that low when he comes back, as far as what each 1060 is providing, when he comes back, he's going to sell it, because here in the UK, you can maybe still get 140, 150 pounds for a 1060. But as I said, if you go into a Discord community, there's a lot of people who disagree with that, and there's a lot of people who are looking to snap up these used cards and perhaps just buy it for 100 or so. But it's hard to say that what he's thinking of doing, as in selling his 1060s, perhaps keeping his 1080 Ti's and his 1070 Ti's, it's hard to say that selling is the wrong thing to do. In fact, if you look at the figures, if you look at the returns that you're getting with some of these lower cards, again, it's not the happiest thing to read when you've got 1060s in your rig, and not just 1060s. I'm using 1060s as an example, but lots of these graphics cards give very low returns. So it's hard to argue that what he would be doing is the wrong thing, because if he sold all those cards, yes, he's selling them perhaps below their, maybe even half the cost of buying new, but one, he's got all the coins that he's mined over the last 6-7 months. But two, he will get money. He'll make money from selling those cards. And if he sells those cards, he's got money. Well, he can do a lot of things. He can buy coins. He can invest in Masternodes. And maybe if we've talked about Masternodes, yes, most of them are scams, but there are some legit coins. I know Snowgem is going to add them soon. I know that Zencash still has them. I know that SafeCoin is going to do it soon as well. So there are legit projects that do have Masternodes. But so you could buy coins and just hodl. You could buy Masternodes, invest in a Masternode, but you could also invest in an ASIC mining machine. And with the money he made, he could go out and buy 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or even 8 Z9 minis or another ASIC mining machine. And if he's okay with that, if he's okay and he buys the first batch, then he might break even in 3 months rather than the 2 years it could take for him to get the money back from his 1060s or something. Obviously, I'm disregarding what he's made in the past with that. But the reality is, me saying that he was making 12 pence per day profit from NiceHash, it shows that the market right now is pretty grim from a mining perspective, at least from a GPU mining perspective. So yeah, people like myself that do have GPUs, it's one of those things, if I did see some GPUs at a really low price, I'd probably consider buying them. But if I'm honest, I'm not looking to buy more GPUs right now because of the current situation. So my thinking right now is, should I sell like say all my 1060s and keep my 1080 Ti's? Should I sell them all, or should I just leave things as they are? Just let things run for the next 6 months. And if I kept all my 1060s running for the next 6 months, I'll still make money every month. And I think the lowest the cards would go from is maybe 150 second hand to 100 second hand. So can I make 50 over, you know, £50 per card over the next 6 months? Maybe, but maybe not. But again, you know, these things don't happen in a vacuum. If I had to sell my cards right now, like my friend is thinking of doing, then I can go and buy an ASIC mining machine, then I can go and invest in a Masternode, or I can buy coins, which I think is undervalued, and then when we hit a bull run, you know, make more money. It's one of those things I keep flip-flopping because there's lots of different ways to look at this, and when I see things, when I see people talking in Discords, there's people that, you know, whose opinion I respect, and some of them are selling and some of them are buying. So what's right or wrong, I don't know, guys. And this is the thing, there's so many unknown factors in cryptocurrency. It's hard to know what to do. So that's the kind of GPU side of things. From an ASIC mining point of view, well, this is something I'm still learning about. I've did some videos about it recently, simply because it's so important to the market, and because the actions of Bitmain and other ASIC mining machine companies, they do have a direct effect on what people like myself do, GPU miners. It does have an effect on what we do as far as our returns, as far as what coins we mine, as far as what algorithms we can actually mine and make a profit. Equihash is gone. It's an ASIC mining algorithm now, Equihash 209. So we've all moved to Equihash 1445. 6-7 months down the line, again, we could be back to square one. It's a game of cat and mouse. But I'm interested in ASIC mining because I do realise they're efficient and all that. But I'm not ruling out ever buying one. I'm really not. And I've said this before. If I was coming in right now, and I've never bought any mining equipment today, so if you're, you know, starting mining from right now, day one, I'll be honest, I'd probably lean towards buying an ASIC mining machine, because they're more efficient, so my electricity costs are low. Yes, they might be a doorstop in 3 months, but if I've broke even in 3 months and then I make a month of profit, then it's been all worth it. Whereas a graphics card, yes, it ultimately has, you know, it has resale value later on, albeit very low. Thanks for making that noise. Yes, it has resale value, but if you break even, resale value, you know, it's not really a big issue, really. So yeah, if I was going to spend money on mining equipment right now, I'd probably lean towards buying an ASIC mining machine and trying to get something that's in batch 1. The alternative, buying coins or investing in masternodes. And this is the thing, you know, there's lots of different ways to make money in cryptocurrency. There's lots of people making money from GPU mining, lots of people doing it with ASIC mining, lots of people doing it with masternodes, other people doing it with just buying and selling coins. So if I had to you know, buy an ASIC mining machine, you know, if I to start today and I bought an ASIC mining machine, I would be looking to break even within the 90-100 day mark, which is what most of these ASIC mining machines do. Moving forward, I don't know, I'm still sitting on the fence whether to buy one. I really am, because yes, I could break even in 3 months, but there's always that risk that, you know, you end up buying a doorstop. And I think if you look at the Z9 and the Z9 Mini, you've got coins like Komodo and Zcash, which are going to stay on this Equihash 209 algorithm pretty much. They might, you know, they might say we're changing later on, but yeah, pretty much they're going to stay there. You've got ones like Bitcoin Private and Zencash, which have been a little bit slow to the game, but they could leave. And if those coins do leave, what we'll see is everyone jumping on to Zcash and Komodo. We're going to see the daily returns going really, really low. But I don't know, maybe we'd see a coin fork because of that. I don't know, I really don't know. I would say though, from an ASIC mining point of view, as far as, you know, new machines coming out, the actual market looks healthier than the GPU mining market. We're not seeing any new GPU mining cards coming out. So let's look at the alternative. The alternative is buying coins. If you come in today, the alternative is buying coins or investing in a masternode. And if you look at time and maintenance and things like that, I would put GPU maintenance as, you know, GPU mining as the one that's the most hands-on. You need to maintain your rigs, you need to change things often, you need to change pools often and all that. That's a very hands-on way of doing it. Next along, you've got ASIC mining. What a lot of people say about ASIC mining is that it is kind of plug and play. You might run into some problems, you might have to update the software, you might want to overclock it, but you're going to run into less problems with an ASIC mining machine in general than a GPU mining rig, all things considered equal. Now that is, you might have to change the pool on that every now and then, but it is a fairly low maintenance investment as far as you just set it down, it rattles off a huge amount of noise, but it generates money for you every day. Another alternative, if you don't want to even have any kind of hardware hands-on experience, you don't want any machines in your house, maybe you travel a lot, I don't know, and maybe your electricity is high, this is where you might want to consider mining rig rentals or NiceHash or something like that. My personal advice to anyone out there is, if you're going to do NiceHash or mining rig rentals, just do your sums, make sure you do your calculations as to what coins to mine. But I would stay away from all these cloud mining platforms. Any company that's trying to tie you into a contract for 1 year or 2 years, it's a scam. Stay away from it, guys. Really do stay away from it. I've seen a lot of scare stories from people talking about these things. They tie you into contracts. You don't know what's going to happen in the future, and they're tying you into long-term contracts that you can't get out of. So stay clear. Really don't go near them. If you're thinking about doing it and you're still sitting on the fence, post a comment or tweet me on Twitter or contact me in some way, and I'll give you a fuller explanation as to why. But the basic reason is cryptocurrency is always evolving, always changing, and tying yourself into a 2-year contract with a company that you probably don't know much about is madness. These guys are scam artists, so don't, there might be some legit ones out there, maybe there is 1 out of 100, but the ones that I've seen, they're all pretty dodgy. I would if you're trying to just rent HashPower, go with mining rig rentals and NiceHash. Those companies are legit. Now, that's the kind of mining side of things. If you want to have a hands-on approach to cryptocurrency as far as mining pools, managing pools and all that. Some people don't want that. Some people just want to less involvement with that. Another option that you can do, of course, if you are thinking that mindset, is to go down the Masternode route. Now, you do have to have a little bit of a technical, it depends on the coin, but you do have to have a little bit of a technical background. Tiny bit, not really. There's tutorials and stuff, but what I'm saying here is, for a Masternode, what you normally have to do is get like a VPS with a service such as DigitalOcean or something like that. Some of the newer coins I've seen come out with have got like one-click installers for Masternode, so it really does take out all the technical need, the technical knowledge that most people needed before to set up a Masternode. It is becoming simpler, and they're trying to make it more user-friendly. But what you have to do is have a certain number of coins, then you install a Masternode onto a virtual private server, a VPS hosting package. You can get it for like $5 a month or something. And then, you just get your returns and you will get a percentage of the block reward. That is an option. And finally, the option is buy and sell coins. If you think coins are undervalued, just buy the coins. And, it's one of those things though, because you can look at hindsight. Like, for example, I can look in hindsight and I can look back to when I bought my rigs 7-8 months ago, and I can say, if I had just spent the money and I just bought certain coins, I would have made a huge amount of money. And that's true. I would have made a huge amount of money because the coins mooned. But it's also true that if I picked the wrong coins, I would have lost a huge amount of money, most of my money. So it's all right being an expert in hindsight and saying I should have just bought the coins, I should have, I should have just bought this particular coin. The reason why many people don't just spend the money on buying and selling coins, and the reason why many people like myself are more directly involved in the mining side of things, is that generally speaking, yes, there is risk involved, but generally speaking, you are providing yourself a stable passive income. As stable as anything can be in the cryptocurrency world. But what I'm saying is, you're not, you can adjust your strategy, your mining strategy over time. If you see that the price of a coin is going down, and you see maybe it's a scam, maybe it's a pump and dump, whatever reason, you can get out, you can start mining a different coin. Whereas if you put all your money into one coin and it crashes, well, your whole cryptocurrency world is going to fall down with you, with the price. So for me, and I think for most of you who watch this channel, And I do realise I have more of a mining centric channel rather than trading, simply because that's, you know, kind of what my interest is. But I think mining is still a safer investment long term. Safer doesn't mean the most profitable, but safer, less risky. Moving forward, long term, myself, you know, I'm not talking to anyone else, but long term, if I had, you know, say I made a few $100,000 from cryptocurrency, or I had a few $100,000 in the bank, which I don't, but if I did, I do like the idea that if I was traveling and doing things like that, I would perhaps move more to trading, I'd perhaps move more to masternodes, and I'd perhaps move more to using NiceHash and many rentals. Something, you know, a setup where I can just operate everything from my laptop or tablet. I don't have to be hands-on. I don't have to be up there tweaking things in the GPUs and buying and selling and worrying about someone breaking it, you know, into where I am and stealing my equipment or anything like that. Which, you know, and I think if you've got a large setup, there does become a point where security of your equipment does become a concern. Long term, that's what I'd love to be. But what I would say about mining in general is that when you start doing GPU mining in particular, it's a baptism by fire. You are forced to learn about a lot of things that people that have never mined before don't know. It forces you to learn about the technical the technical side of coins rather than just the price. You're looking at why a coin, you know, does certain things, why a project goes a certain way. You're looking at what the algorithm does, what it can't do, the pros and the cons. And who knows, maybe in a few years' time, I won't be actively mining, I'll be actively trading. I don't know. But I don't regret the way that I've come into this industry. I don't regret buying a mining rig. I don't regret all the hours that I've spent maintaining my mining rigs, because it has given me the knowledge of mining and of cryptocurrency, which I think will serve me for years. So thanks for watching, guys. I realise I am going over a lot of old ground and things that I covered a few months ago, but it is July 2018 now. We are seeing more ASIC mining machines out. We are in more of a bear market than we were a few months ago. So things change, some things don't, but some things have changed, and I thought I would do a video about it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Looking at the time, I'm at 27 minutes. I really didn't think this was going to be that long a video, but I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. I just wanted to talk about GPU mining. I wanted to talk about ASIC mining, and I wanted to just shoot the breeze and just get give you my thoughts on what the situation is today in the mining world. I really do enjoy mining. I really do enjoy the technical aspect of it and all these other things, but I'm always trying to look at the bigger picture as well, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. As always, you guys know your comments are very, very valuable to me. In fact, most of the inspiration for most of my videos come from comments and discussions with you guys. So if you've enjoyed the video, please do leave a comment below. Please let me know what your rig is. Please let me know what you're thinking about investing in the second half of 2018. I'd love to know what your strategy is with all of this, guys. The reason I've not said I'm definitely doing this or I'm definitely doing that is because I don't know. I don't know all the answers, guys, and anyone who says they do is probably scamming you. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to look at this, guys. I will continue to tell you what I'm thinking, and if I do decide to sell my graphics cards, you guys will be the first to know. So thanks for watching, guys. Please do leave a comment. Please do subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you all in the next live stream. Till next time, guys. Take care.